Well, hello there guys, StriderVM here, and today an old event returns in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and its name is Lands of Plenty. Now, as far as I know, this was the first event on the global server, but if you don't remember it, let me explain. The game was first soft launched in Sweden, if I remember correctly, in May 2016. Now, due to my impatience on that time, I actually decided to get the game even though the game wasn't actually released at that time in global yet. So I remember starting to play when the Lands of Plenty was about to end, because my team was pretty lousy at that time. So I guess we're getting pretty off topic, so let's begin. This event is an exploration event in which you finish different dungeons in an increasing difficulty level. So if you haven't really played this event yet, only the beginner level will be unlocked. So finishing it allows you to play the intermediate dungeon, and then after finishing the intermediate level, you will be given a recipe for a sword. And then the advanced difficulty level will be unlocked. Now, after finishing this advanced difficulty level, another recipe will be given to you. And then, for this version of Lands of Plenty, there will be another new difficulty level called Professional. Now, I warn you guys, that the Professional difficulty level, you shouldn't really underestimate it. You really need to bring your A team in the game for that map. Even up to the advanced level, sure, you could actually get your secondary team if that team could actually finish all the levels in the island of Dirnado. So anyway, this video shows my second playthrough of the professional difficulty level of this event. So first, as you can see, the enemies are no slouch. They hit harder than even the current Dirnado dungeons, if I remember correctly. So that is why I suggested to bring your best characters. Also, this video shows you the exact locations of the resource spots where you can get the required materials in order to craft the best reward this event has to offer. Also, in my opinion, trying to totally finish all the possible encounters this event dungeon can offer is not recommended at all. They're hard to kill and don't give that big of an EXP. I actually still suggest finishing the Dirnado exploration dungeons for that. So yeah, I would actually suggest you guys to craft the Charm Bangle in order to reduce the encounters in this event dungeon, because, well, the best reward that you can get in this event is kind of hard to craft, and it requires a pretty big amount of materials. But still, it's not as bad, again, compared to the Demons Unleashed event. So yeah, to add to this as a personal thing, if you could hear me breathe or something through the microphone right now, my apologies for that, as I actually have a cold right now. So yeah, my apologies again if you could hear me breathe deeply. So in this point, I actually suggest you guys that you completely heal your units, because we're gonna need all of our characters in perfect condition in order to kill all the bosses in this dungeon. Yep, you heard me correctly. This dungeon has multiple bosses and they're waiting for you in a straight line in south. So we have the first boss here, and its name is ƒBʔa. According to that, anyway, I think that's the wrong spelling, but anyway, we're digressing. It's not that hard, this one. If you have a party with a barrage, this boss shouldn't be much of a problem. The only annoying thing that this boss has is Osmote, which is it will drain all of your character's MP. That's guaranteed. So yeah, after defeating this boss and one of your characters has 0 MP due to the osmosis of the boss, I suggest refilling that character's MP using either the 10th or the ether. Okay, now we're in the second boss, and it's the Hill Gigas. But this version is really tough, to the point that I would suggest a pure casting team. But the problem is, in the first boss, physical attacks works best, and on this boss and the third boss, you actually need a pure caster team to be able to kill this guy much faster. So besides that difference, it shouldn't be that much different from the first boss. Just need to be focused on casting spells. And of course, every boss would be a lot easier if you have full break, which means their attacks wouldn't damage your characters as much. So just as long as you have at least 1 to 2 healers that could heal your party, while the other characters keep focusing on hitting the boss, you should defeat him in no time. Well, not really no time, a lot of time. So now we are on the third boss, and it's an Ogre. Well, to summarize, this boss is very similar to the hill gigas. Very hard to kill physically, you need casting, slightly more HP, and with an additional twist. This boss has the Crypt Dust skill. As you can remember with Mahadeva way back, Crypt Dust affects your whole party and gives them a chance to get blinded, which means it kinda gets more complicated because you need to remove the blind while also healing your team, and affects the damage per second that you're gonna inflict on the boss per turn. So that is why I suggest getting a character that has dual cast. Even though it is just Krill, it is really convenient to use in this boss because with dual cast, they would be able to heal the blindness of your characters twice per turn. Whew! So finally we beat the Ogre and we're gonna finish this exploration dungeon. Now, if you can see, there's a lot of resource spots in this dungeon. Well, you're gonna need it because, well, you're at least gonna repeat it at least about 10 to 15 times in order to get the exact requirements in order to craft the best sword. Now, this event will give you 3 recipes. One is the Fine Blade, the other is the Superior Blade, and finally, the Shining Splendor. Now, all the materials that are required in order to craft all 3 blades can actually be found in other exploration dungeons, with the exception of one, which is needed for the Shining Splendor, and it's the Cavern Ore. Now, also, to complicate things, in order to craft the Superior Blade, you're gonna need multiple Fine Blades. And then, in order to craft a Shining Splendor, you're gonna need to craft multiple Superior Blades. Which means, as you can see, you're gonna need a lot of copper ore, a lot of lumber, and a lot of mithril ores. Also, last tip before we finish this video, you could actually buy broadswords in the town of Mitra, okay? So there's no need to suffer, you know, crafting broadswords. You just need to buy them from the town of Mitra. So anyway, this ends the sort of playthrough of the event of Lands of Plenty for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So this is StriderVM. I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. So anyways, this is I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that I will still see you guys in another video.